Cycling. Cycling. Cycling.
Oh, that's it! Smith down the ice! Willie!
It's in!
Yes!
It's in! Are you kidding me?
Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history. Where's the puck?
Watch this. The puck's gonna drop right here. Hands and tries to force it off right in the back. Right there, right into the net.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna visit some of the places my favorite sports are played today. Sports are great way to escape reality. I say some of my favorite sports because my favorite sport is this, cycling. The bike is just such an interesting thing. Back in the early 1800s, a German man named Karl von Drais invented the first one. Didn't even have any pedals. He called it the dandy horse because it replaced all the horses. They all died in a terrible drought. Oh, and the first cycling race was in 1868. It was at the Park of St. Cloud in Paris. James Moore, who won, he rode a bike with solid rubber tires from the city entrance to the fountain in the park. And then he went on to win the first city-to-city race from Paris to Rouen.
There's got to be a sense of, this is what I do for a living. The people that pay to see me play are going to see my best effort. Now, we're going to get our ass beat again. Don't ever mistake it.
Baseball. 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 The first big bike race took place in 1903, the Tour de France. 2,400 kilometers of racing. Meanwhile, the Boston Americans ran 4 kilometers around the bases to win the first World Series. 10 men, 14 hours to run 4 kilometers around the bases. The 2,400 kilometer Tour de France took one man 93 hours to finish, alone. I don't know why more people went to the World Series. Since 1903, the Tour has been the most difficult sporting event. Yeah. There's one event that may rival it, the 6-day race. 6 days, one wooden track, ride until you can't ride anymore.
If you've got a horse that earns points to run in the Kentucky Derby, those 20 horses that start in Kentucky are the only 20 eligible to run in all 3 races. This is the coward's way out.
Horse racing. Horse racing? Horse racing? Reminds me of horse racing. In both cases, the more spectators, the higher the prize. By 1896, the Kentucky Derby had 22 editions. 1 1/4 mile. Horse does all the work. Wait, the horse does all the work? Meanwhile, cyclists would propel their iron horses thousands of miles around the track with their legs. Little rest, little sleep. The Tour de France was not to be the only Grand Tour for long. 1909, the Giro d'Italia started, and in 1935, the Vuelta a España made it a trio. Plenty of opportunity for millions of people to see a display of the grit of cycling.
He comes underneath. Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
You've got to be shitting me.
We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked.
Football. 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 Yeah, I guess football is pretty gritty too. And it's kind of popular. Some people watch it, I guess. But not as grand as cycling, though. For instance, Soldier Field is the oldest and most historied stadium in the NFL. It only seats 61,000. Even the biggest stadium, Lambeau Field, only seats 80,000. Kinda small compared to the cycling-hungry population of France, 67 million.
I don't like it, to tell you the truth. I don't think it's fair. And, it's too tricky.
Golf. Oh, golf. Here's a sport with a slower tempo. Manipulation of the land. Golf got a head start on cycling in popularity. People picked it up in the late 19th century. Tranquility is unrivaled. It all comes down to the last-minute actions of the day. And maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe they're all cool, in their own way.
He pushes Greipel out the way. Greipel has gone for Sagan as he comes to the line. Andre, and then comes Dylan Groenewegen. Tilsmukis. Nagas of Martinov. Pierre will out of Tishuki. Where's Nikovki? He'll go.
Maybe almost as cool as cycling. Maybe.